Empty your dryer's lint trap right now and look at what you're holding. That gray fluff is not dirt, it's your clothes. Fibers torn off your shirts and your towels by heat and friction, load after load, until the thing you paid good money for is a little thinner, a little more worn, a little closer to the trash. A good dryer takes as little of that as possible. A bad one running too hot, with a sensor it cannot trust, shaves your wardrobe down faster every cycle, bakes what's left, and at the far end of that same problem, overheats badly enough to catch fire. Clothes dryers are behind roughly 14,000 home fires a year in the United States and around $200 million in damage. And the trigger in the overwhelming majority is the same thing that's quietly wearing out your clothes. Heat the machine couldn't control. Today we expose the 6 dryer brands that cook your clothes, and the 4 that will still be running, gently, in 20 years. Number 1 on the lasting side is built like a laundromat machine and tested to outlive your house. But first, the offenders that turn your dryer into an oven. And the worst of them burns out its own heating element every few years. Number 6. Hisense. Hisense competes on exactly one number, the price on the sticker. At $300 to $500, it's among the cheapest dryers you can buy, and the savings comes straight out of the part that protects your clothes. The moisture sensor, the small metal strip that tells the dryer when your laundry is actually dry, is either crude or absent on machines this cheap, which means the dryer doesn't stop when your clothes are dry. It stops when the timer runs out. And a timer doesn't know the difference between a damp towel and a bone-dry t-shirt, so it keeps pumping heat into fabric that's already done, baking it, shrinking it, wearing it thin. Thin insulation and lightweight parts mean the whole machine runs hotter and harder than it should, and the service network behind it is thin enough that when something fails, parts crawl in over weeks. You save $200 at the register and pay for it in a closet full of prematurely worn clothes and a dryer you're replacing in 5 years. Cheap heat is the most expensive heat there is. Number 5. Insignia. Insignia is Best Buy's house brand, and it exists for one reason: to hit the lowest possible price in the store. That's the whole design brief. What you get is a basic box with a basic thermostat and, on most models, the same flaw as Hisense, no moisture sensing worth trusting. So the machine runs on time and temperature instead of on how dry your clothes actually are. The result is the quiet damage you don't notice until it's done. Elastic that goes slack, prints that crack, cotton that comes out stiff and faded because it spent 10 extra minutes in heat it never needed. Insignia dryers are built for dorm rooms and short-term rentals, places where nobody expects the machine to last. And that is exactly what they deliver: a couple of years of over-drying before the thermostat or the drum bearing gives out. If you're moving within 2 years, fine. As the dryer you'll run for a decade, it's a slow-motion shredder for your wardrobe. Number 4. Haier. Haier built an empire on cheap, and its dryers are built down to a price, not up to a standard thin drums, basic thermostats, and a tendency to run hot, because aggressive heat is the cheapest way to dry clothes fast and look good in a showroom demo. Fast and hot is exactly what cooks fabric. Here's the part worth knowing, though. Haier is one of the largest appliance makers on the planet, and it owns GE appliances, and GE's dryers are genuinely solid. Same parent, completely different machine. The lesson isn't that the company can't build a good dryer. It's that the cheap Haier badge is engineered to a cheap Haier price, and heat control is the first thing they cut. You're not buying a company's reputation. You're buying one specific machine, and this one runs hot and short. Number 3. Frigidaire. Frigidaire is the badge people grab when they want a name they recognize without paying name brand money, and what they don't realize is that it's Electrolux's discount label built down to a number. The recurring complaint with Frigidaire dryers is over-drying, and the cause is almost poetic. Their auto-dry sensors are easily fouled by the residue that dryer sheets and fabric softener leave behind, so the sensor reads "still wet" on clothes that are already dry and keeps the heat running. The machine bakes your laundry because it can no longer feel that the job is done. On top of that, owners report control boards and heating components failing in the 3 to 5 year window, right as the warranty taps out. You save a few hundred at the register and pay it back in worn clothes and an early repair bill. A sensor you can't trust is worse than no sensor at all, because at least no sensor is honest about it. Quick thing before the top two: if this is already saving your clothes, subscribe. Every breakdown on this channel follows the money under the badge, not the marketing on the door. No brand deals, no sponsorships, just the failure data and the price tags. Number 2, Electrolux. Now the parent company itself, and this is where the price tag starts to insult you. Electrolux sells its dryers, a full tier-up sleek European styling, premium feature lists, prices well past $1,000, and promises a different class of machine. The reliability doesn't match the price. In the big independent surveys, Electrolux's laundry machines sit middling to low, which is a brutal place to be when you're charging flagship money. And the extra money buys you more electronics, more sensors, more proprietary parts, which means more things to fail and a bigger bill when they do. The same over-drying and heat management complaints that plague the budget brands show up here too, except now you paid premium for them. When a 4-figure dryer bakes your clothes and then needs a $300 control board, the premium didn't buy you a gentler machine. It bought you a nicer-looking one to stand next to while you wait for the technician. Number 1, Samsung. Samsung makes the most photogenic dryer in the showroom. The big screen, the steam cycles, the matte finish, and underneath it is the brand most likely to literally cook your clothes and itself. The defining Samsung dryer problem is overheating. The heating element burns out on a schedule. Owners and repair techs report it failing every 3 to 5 years, and the thermostats and thermistors that are supposed to cap the temperature fail alongside it, throwing the error codes Samsung owners know by heart. When those temperature controls go, the dryer doesn't just stop drying. It runs too hot. Roughly 70% of Samsung's heating failures trace back to restricted airflow and overheating that burns the internal parts out, the exact conditions that scorch fabric and, at the extreme, start fires. And here's the tell that says everything. Yale Appliance, one of the most respected appliance retailers and repair operations in the country, dropped Samsung laundry from its lineup entirely. They won't sell it, in large part, because they got tired of servicing it. When the people who repair dryers for a living stop stocking a brand, that is the most honest review a dryer can get. Samsung sells you a beautiful machine that runs too hot, fails on a timer, and can't be fixed easily when it does. That's why it's number 1. That's the oven-side 6 machines that wear your clothes out with heat they can't control. Now the 4 that dry gently and refuse to die. Number 4. Whirlpool. Whirlpool is the workhorse of the American laundry room, and for a dryer that is exactly what you want. Repair technicians, the people who actually see which machines come back, name Whirlpool, one of the most reliable and the easiest to fix, with parts in stock at every supply house in the country. A Whirlpool dryer runs simple, proven engineering with a real moisture sensor that stops the cycle when your clothes are dry, instead of baking them on a timer. It's not the flashiest machine on the floor, and that's the point. Fewer gimmicks means fewer things to break, and the ones that do break are cheap and fast to repair. Across a wide price range, from a basic 2-knob model to a sensor-dry mid-range unit, Whirlpool gives you 10 to 15 honest years for a fair price. It won't dazzle you. It'll just keep your clothes intact and keep running. Number 3. LG. Here's one that might surprise you, because LG has earned a mixed reputation in other rooms of the house. In the laundry room, the data is not mixed at all. In Consumer Reports 2026 testing, LG is the single most reliable dryer brand on the market. Its electric and gas models dominate the ratings, with one of the lowest service rates in the entire category and top owner satisfaction scores. And the reason LG matters for this video specifically is the sensor. LG's moisture sensing is among the best made, which means its dryers genuinely stop when your clothes are dry. They don't overrun, they don't bake, they don't shrink. A direct drive motor with fewer moving parts keeps the whole machine reliable, and you can buy in anywhere from $500 to $2,000. LG is the rare brand that gives you smart features, gentle drying, and a low failure rate in the same machine. When the independent data is this lopsided, you follow it. Number 2, Miele. If the whole problem on the villain side is heat the machine can't control, Miele is the answer to that problem in its purest form. Most Miele dryers use heat pump technology, which dries your clothes at a far lower temperature than a conventional vented dryer. Gentle, low heat that simply cannot scorch fabric the way a high-heat machine does. Your clothes last dramatically longer because they are never being baked in the first place. And the machine itself is tested to last 20 years of average household use, with build quality that backs the promise and part support that runs for years after you buy. The price is real, $1,500 and up, and this is the premium tier of the list. But you're buying two things at once. A dryer that protects your entire wardrobe with low heat, and a machine engineered to outlast almost everything else in your home. For anyone tired of replacing both their dryer and the clothes it ruined, Miele is the spreadsheet that finally works. Number 1, Speed Queen. You've probably never seen a Speed Queen in a glossy showroom display, and that's the whole point. Speed Queen builds home dryers the way it builds the commercial machines in laundromats, heavy-duty motors, commercial-grade parts, simple mechanical controls, and a build so overbuilt that owners routinely report 20-plus years of use with almost no repairs. In Consumer Reports 2026 data, it ranks second in reliability and first in owner satisfaction, the highest of any brand on the board. People who buy one tend to never buy another. And it doesn't cook your clothes the way the budget machines do, because modern Speed Queens pair that commercial durability with real sensor drying and proper heat control the toughness of a laundromat dryer without the abuse. No giant touchscreen, no app, no gimmicks, just a machine that dries your clothes correctly and is still doing it 2 decades from now. At $1,000 to $2,000, it costs more upfront than a budget dryer, and then it outlasts 3 of them. When the goal is 20 years, this is where the smart money goes. Across all 10 brands, one pattern holds, and it's the simplest one in this whole series. A dryer has exactly one way to ruin your clothes too much heat for too long, and exactly one defense against it, a machine that knows when to stop. The villains skip the sensor, run hot, and shave your wardrobe down a little every load while wearing themselves out. The 4 that last spend the money where it matters. Accurate moisture sensing, controlled heat, parts built to endure so your clothes survive, and so does the dryer. So when you're standing in front of that wall of stainless steel, ignore the screen and the steam cycles and ask 2 questions. Does it have a real moisture sensor? And can someone in your town actually fix it? Get those 2 right and the heat takes care of itself. Which one surprised you most, the overheaters or the unknown brand at the top? Drop it in the comments. And if this saved your clothes, and maybe your house, subscribe. We follow the money under the badge every single time.